Okay, everybody. So we're going to talk about fundamental needs today. All right, now I know some of you have definitely had this lesson, but what I wanted to do was look at it maybe in a little bit more of a deeper manner today. So we're going to go over, what this chart shows, and then we're going to go over some follow-up work options. As humans, we know that there are things that we absolutely have to have in order to survive. We're going to start over here on this side of the chart, and this says material. These are the things that we physically need to be okay. So let's look at this first one, housing. We need somewhere to protect us from the elements. So I live in a house that's made out of bricks. Some people live in a house made of wood. Some people live in an apartment building. We know that there are some people who don't necessarily have homes. What they do is they do their best to find a place that's warm enough and safe enough to be able to sleep at night. So they try to find some kind of space that they can feel safe. So housing. Let's come down here to transportation. What do you think the very first mode of transportation was? I can tell you what, it wasn't a car and it wasn't a bike. Because remember, the very first humans couldn't just go to the store and buy a Toyota, right? They had to figure everything out for themselves. Their first mode of transportation was their legs. Your legs can get you from point A to point B. I could walk to school if I really wanted to. However, that's about 14 miles from my house. That would take me a long time. So I drive a car. Some people take a bike. Some people take a train. Some people take the bus. Some people walk. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we can get around. As you can see here, this is a boat. A long time ago, people would travel across the ocean in wooden boats. Here, sometimes people would use animals. They might use a horse to get where they're going, or a camel. Here is petroleum. We use petroleum now, or gas, in our cars. And this is a train. This is a steel train once we started getting kind of sophisticated, being able to get places even faster and faster. So then we go to defense. Now here on our chart, you can see things like iron, where they would make armor, or gunpowder for cannons, stone walls, a wooden club. These are definitely things that were used for humans to protect themselves quite a while ago, right? They might have cannons at castles, or even on boats. We know that knights would wear suits of armor to protect themselves from swords. Humans have been building walls and fences for a long time. Ever since we started working together, it's just one way to keep out maybe a dangerous animal or another group of people you might not have gotten along with. This was probably one of the first forms of defense with the early humans. When something was coming after them, they could try to hit it with a wooden club. Now, we don't really use these. We use fences and walls for protection for sure. But I want you to think of something that you use anytime you get in the car to defend yourself, is your seatbelt. That is a big way that we defend ourselves. What about when we go outside and it's real sunny? What do we put on our skin? We can put sunscreen on our skin to protect our skin. It's a good defense against sun rays that can burn your skin. So there's an interesting group of ways that we can defend ourselves in modern time now. Let me go here. Nourishment. Nourishment includes food and water, okay? So humans eat vegetable substances, and some humans eat animal substances, and then we all have to drink water. We all have to drink water in order to survive. Without water, we can't live. So we have to have these things. We have to have nourishment. Otherwise, we're going to have a hard time. Then we come over here, clothing. Now, ain't none of us walk around without clothing on, right? At least not outside the house. So, clothing can be made of plant material, like cotton or linen, or it can be made of animal substances, kind of like feathers or skins, hair, things of that nature. We use wool from sheep to make yarn and knit things. We can put fur on our clothing to make it warmer. So we as humans definitely need some kind of clothing on our body, either to protect us from the sun or to protect us from the cold or sometimes even to protect us from getting hurt. If you're a farmer and you're out in the crops all day, you really don't want all that matter and dirt and all that all over your skin all the time. You would want to wear a nice good pair of jeans that would that are thick, that can protect you from getting scratched and all that. So clothing. So that's our material needs. We need housing, transportation, defense, nourishment, and clothing. We need all of these things in order to survive and live our best lives. Now over here, it says spiritual. Now, I don't want you to think spiritual as in just any kind of religion. I want you to think of the human spirit, the things that make you, you, the things that you are interested in, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you find interesting or rewarding to do. I know that I really like to sew. So I find after I've sewn a dress that it's very rewarding to then go out and be able to wear that dress and be proud of it. Well, that's kind of what these things are. So here we have art and culture. So imagine a world without music or a world without art. That would be a very strange world for us humans because we're passionate about different creative outlets like this. Now this is vanity. Vanity comes from an old Greek word vanitos, which means to make oneself better. So in today's society, sometimes when you think of vanity, it makes you think of people who are full of themselves or just think they're the total bee's knees. That's not quite what that means here. That means like if you're someone who really likes a certain style of clothing, you like to wear a certain kind of clothing because it makes you feel nice. It makes you feel comfortable. I really like to wear bright colors because I love bright colors because they make me happy. Some people really like to wear jewelry. I like jewelry. I just always forget to wear it. And some people really like to do their hair certain ways because it makes them feel good or proud. These things in this category, as well as this category, can also really reflect one's culture and heritage. And culture and heritage is something to absolutely be proud of. We're all different in that area. And to celebrate our differences and to really acknowledge those differences is important to humans. We're all very different from one another. So, having that pride in yourself and that part of who you are, that falls under spirituality, your spirit, what makes you you. And then we do have religion. There are some people who believe in a lot of different kinds of religion. Some people believe certain things and other people don't believe certain things, and all that's okay. It's all about the way we talk about it when we don't necessarily agree with one another on what we believe and our core values are. But religion definitely comes in here because a lot of times religion can do a lot of defining of who someone is. So these spiritual things are what make us human. Okay? Animals need defense and they move around, right? Especially birds, they're migrating. They need some kind of shelter or housing where they feel safe. They need nourishment. They don't really wear clothing, but they do have fur. They have ways of keeping their outer selves safe. Not many animals have this part to them, and it's not developed the way humans are. There are certain kinds of birds who like to make these nests and decorate them, and they find little trinkets and they put them everywhere, and they're trying to attract a female bird. They make it really beautiful. There are some other primates that can take things as treasures, but it's not the same. It's not the same way that humans value and internalize these things. So, one thing that I would really love to see some of you work on, if you're interested, is there's two things here. One, you can always, of course, draw this chart and make it your own. Show how you live, where you live in your housing, how you move around. Are you someone that likes to ride bikes? Are you someone that likes to skateboard or maybe rollerblade? Do you have a car at home? What kind of car? How do you defend yourself? Do you defend yourself by wearing your seatbelt, putting on sunscreen, making sure that you eat a healthy diet so that you can feel good? What do you eat? What's your favorite foods, man? I know mine. Macaroni and cheese is my all-time favorite food, and fried chicken, and I don't eat them often because they're not very healthy for me, but dang, they're so tasty. And then clothing. What's the clothing that you really like to wear? Are you someone who doesn't really care about clothing? You're like, yeah, whatever. Covers my body, protects my feet, I'm cool. Some people really like it. And then come over here and go over the things that you really care about, that you're passionate about, that make you you. So you can do that for yourself. You could do this for a family member. You could make them a fundamental needs tree, or you can make a chart about an ancient civilization and how they met their needs. So, say ancient Egyptians or ancient Mayans or the Greeks. You could make a fundamental needs chart for them. Or, in my last suggestion, and I actually think this would be really, really cool because it could spin off a great creative writing project, is to make up a culture and fill all these things in for them. Okay, so what kind of housing did they use? What was their transportation? What was their defense? What was the food they ate? What was the clothing they wore? And it would be really fun to make up a completely new culture of people or a species of people. Maybe these are aliens. I don't know. Make up their spiritual needs. What makes them what their culture finds valuable and satisfying and fulfilling. So I think that would be really cool to create almost kind of a world of people using this chart that you get to make up. And maybe then you can write a story about it. I think that would be real fun. So those are some follow-up work options. This is a good thing to think about, and I hope you enjoy doing it if you choose to work on it. If you have any questions, you know that I am always here. Email me, call me, whatever you need. I miss you dearly, and I think you're pretty great. All right, guys. Have a good day.